the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
6:08 on the Get Up and Go show, and if you're hearing something a little different, yes, we are a blended show this morning. G and Ray have a day off, little mental relaxation, so we are coming to you live from the WSTU Palatial Palace studios on a blended show this morning. And if you're wondering what that music is in the background, we actually have a live band in studio down here in Stuart, Florida.
Yeah, usually we do that on a day-to-day, morning-to-morning basis.
Yeah.
When the whole band gets here.
And our band leader, he's a gentleman by the name of Fredo. And he joins us in studio when the band is here. So I'll say good morning to you, Fredo. How are you today?
Yeah, man. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us this morning, Fredo. I appreciate it. I see that you brought the donuts and the band is here, and you guys are all social distancing in the other room. You have your masks on, and the 5-piece band is looking really good this morning.
Yeah, man. Everybody's ready to go. We are cool. We are ready for the simulcast. You
all
know
right,
what, man.
All right. Very good. And of course, I want to welcome in Phil from Phil's Notebook. He is a YouTube influencer, and he joins us each and every day. Well, not every day, but most days.
At least 3 days
Yeah,
a
at least
week,
a couple
Phil
of days
has
a week.
been on with
Sometimes
us.
one, sometimes three. So
depends on things, I guess.
Depends on things. So we'll say good morning to Phil.
He's straight from Yeehaw Junction.
Yeah, well, no, the top 10 list comes from Yeehaw Junction.
Yeah.
That's the home office.
I'm in Jupiter.
Yeah, he's in Jupiter.
The top 10 list comes from Yeehaw Junction.
Yeah, that's where the home office is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those of you that have never heard myself on this station, Bonnie, you've been on the station quite often, so the listeners know exactly who you are from your beautiful voice.
Thank you. And usually, we come in blended with G and Ray once in a while.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I make the trip up to WPSL. Welcome, listeners, this morning, by the way.
They're Palatial Studios up there. They're 5-star studios. For those of you that have never heard my voice before, you may recognize my voice as the voice of the New York Mets over at Clover Park. I've been there for about 8 years, and I own a entertainment company, just like G does as well. So I wanted to get those things out of the way.
Listeners in of the Port St. Lucie area are saying, "I know that voice."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that voice from First Data
exactly.
or Clover Park.
Yes.
Now,
God, don't say First Data, please.
Clover.
It's Clover Park.
Or the announcement at the airport: please do not park in the red zone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So we're kind of on a hiatus right now. We're waiting for baseball to come back, and it could be happening in a few weeks. We'll just have to see what happens there. Bonnie, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You look different this morning again. You must be wearing your contacts.
Yeah, wearing contacts, and it might be the eyebrows too.
Oh, you got your brows done?
I did them myself, and I did them this morning, like really fast. So I'm not even sure if they're even.
Okay.
But
all right.
I took a chance, and I went to that little place called Five Below. You know, where you get everything like $5 and under.
All right, sounds good. We have a phone call already this
Found
morning.
some makeup.
So good morning. You're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Who's this?
Russ, I'm just calling to ask you if you're aware you're saying "I" every other word.
I say I. Because I'm sticking my tongue out. I got a doctor here looking down my throat to making sure I don't have a sore throat.
As a broadcast professional, you'd think you'd be above that.
I am. I'm a broadcast.
Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, Russ?
Well, I've already shut the station off because I physically can't listen to that moronic
All right, so I'll get rid of that phone call.
That's just not right.
Yeah, that's just not right.
Wow.
Oh,
All right. Well, somebody's not on the right side of the bed this morning.
No.
guess you didn't have his orange juice yet, and maybe you're not all the
There's coffee or something.
electrolytes going
Do
on.
I say
Good Lord.
an awful lot?
I don't think you were. I didn't notice it, Evan.
Okay.
I'm not.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. All right. That's all right.
yeah. No.
No problem.
We
Nah,
didn't-
I don't want to make fun. I don't want to
Yeah.
make fun. Well, I'm sorry you feel like that, and sincerely I do. I apologize, but that's just the way I talk.
Well, once in a while, we got to be friendly to our coworkers,
Yeah.
and once in a while, G and Ray need a morning off, as we will need a morning
Yeah.
off when,
Mhm.
that time comes, and they will be blended here in Stewart,
Yeah.
where we're situated.
Definitely, and I'm sure our Stewart listeners may not like some things that they say at times, and they'll voice their opinion. But
Yeah.
we welcome phone calls. If you ever want to call us, our number is 220-9788, 220-9788. You can call the show. We'd be more than happy to chat with you, put you on the air. Yeah, be nice when you call, though.
Yeah.
Definitely so. So Bonnie, how was your day yesterday when you left here? What'd you do?
The day, more work. I think I did like 3 massages when I left here.
Okay, so I know you flew out the door, so I saw you like you were on your magic carpet.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was feeling really hungry yesterday, so I had to get there way before 10 so I could enjoy something to eat
Mhm.
and then let my stomach settle down
Okay.
a little bit.
All right.
Because sometimes when I'm doing that 10 o'clock massage, if my food's digesting, my stomach like gurgles. And then
That wouldn't sound right if you're giving a massage.
I just tell the client on my table that I have a baby otter in my stomach.
Does it
a
percolate
baby
like a coffee?
otter in your stomach. Wait a minute.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow.
Wait, do you eat otters? Is that what
Wow.
you're telling us?
But
Okay.
it that only happens to me on a Monday morning, and I don't know why.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen to me when I go in the afternoon at 4. Not it doesn't happen to me on a Sunday morning,
Okay.
but on a Monday. Oh, good gosh, maybe it's what I'm eating and drinking the day before on Sunday, or something going on.
So that's a first
But-
that you have. It
A
feels like you have
percolating
a
stomach.
percolating stomach,
Yeah,
like a baby otter is in there.
like an otter.
Baby
Wow.
otter.
How would you like to be on my table and all you would hear was my stomach digesting and gurgling, and
I would think you were possessed.
it's pretty embarrassing. No, I'm not Linda Blair.
Okay. Thank God you
Linda
didn't say you
Blair.
had Flipper in there or
Wait.
something.
Maybe our Facebook people can see my head do a 360 right now.
No,
With my
no,
eyes.
no, please don't do that. Please don't do that. So you had 3
Hey,
massages
me.
yesterday.
3, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And how
then-
were they?
And then they were fine.
Okay.
And-
Were you
and-
gurgling during all 3 massages?
No, then I made the
Gurgling.
trip. I went shopping actually in the town of Tradition.
Oh,
Oh.
I like that. It's out
Yeah.
by me. That's out by where I live.
That's really close. I bet you and Rachel must go shopping there
No,
a
we
lot.
don't. No,
No?
we don't go shopping there. We haven't really been out much since everything happened back in March.
Yeah.
We've pretty much decided to stay home. We have only ventured to one place to go and eat, and that was just to get like a dessert,
Yeah.
and that was a little ice cream shop located. See, I just said so.
You're,
Yeah,
Evan,
it's just,
you're,
it's force of habit.
Evan, you're
Now
fine.
you're going to be self-conscious
Yeah,
about
I
it.
really am. I'm going to be self-conscious
But
about
don't
that.
be.
I'm going to
Don't
give
be.
myself a complex.
No.
So Rachel and I went out and got some ice cream at a local shop,
Yeah.
and I happen to know the owner. That's the only reason we went. So we went, we
Mhm.
sat down, got a little bit of ice cream, and then we went right back home. But we have not been out to eat anywhere. We have not gone to the mall.
Yeah.
We have not gone really shopping. We go grocery shopping. Usually we do it online, but we went to the store the other day, her and I together. We both wore the masks and we got all our necessities and we got out of there, and that was it. And then I make my usual trip on Sunday to Publix
Yes.
and get my lottery tickets, my newspapers, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Dairy Queen last night. My son's in town from college,
Uh-huh.
and the kid that he grew up with next door went with us. And I noticed something when we went to Dairy Queen. they're open now. We were sitting there eating ice cream and everything. Pretty girls come in,
Mhm.
and I say to my son and his friend, I go, "There you go, guys," and they both went, "Nah," and they started eating our ice cream.
You know, some kids are like that though. They're
I'm
just
like,
shy. They don't want to make that initial eye contact. They're
I know.
introverted. They're not outroverted.
Yeah.
So it
I
just
think that's what it
really
is, yeah.
depends. Phil, when you grew up, were you an introvert or an outrovert?
Introvert
Or
at the
extrovert, whatever you want to call it.
Extrovert, introvert, and I was going to ask him
Extrovert.
something else, but I'm
Well,
No,
I was
don't go
very-
there.
I was
Don't go. I know
shy.
where you were going to go. Trust me, I know where you were going to go. So let's not go there.
yeah,
We don't
right.
want to shock our Port St. Lucie listeners on our sister station
Yeah,
listening
right.
right now.
Yeah.
So are
I
you
was shy
introvert or
till about
extrovert, Phil?
seventh grade. I was shy till about 7th grade.
Okay.
And then that's when I came out of my shell. And next thing you know, I was like, Mr. Big Time, wanted to make people laugh and tell jokes and stuff like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
See, I was introverted all through high school, from elementary, middle, high school, all the way up until about, I want to say 18. And then I went to broadcast school and became a DJ and got my license and got a gig on a radio station down in Miami. It was 96X back in the day. Known as
96X.
Disco 96. That was my first radio
That was
gig.
before it was Power. That was after it was Power 96.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
you weren't even born back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I was 18 years old, and then all of
when
a
things
sudden
were still in black and
Yeah.
white.
that it was like, wow,
Yeah.
I came out of my shell,
Yeah.
and then I just became this extrovert, and now it's like you give me a microphone and you just cannot shut me up. Hello,
Yeah, right.
go figure.
I was pretty introverted, and we had a volleyball coach, and God bless my volleyball coach. I love her to this day. She was a great coach, a great mentor, friend. But I spoke very little. I don't know if I was just always intimidated by maybe the girls or all these older girls around me, and so she substituted I think it was history class one day. She came in as a substitute teacher, and she had me read out loud because she had never heard my voice.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how quiet I used to be.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is literally crazy. Unbelievable. 6:20 right now. It's news time. Let's go over to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines this morning. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hope Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads and many communities remained underwater in Martin County. The coronavirus is responsible for 12 more deaths in Florida. The Department of Health says the state has now recorded a total of 2,712 deaths from the virus. New cases of the coronavirus are on the rise in Florida, but Governor Ron DeSantis says that is not cause for alarm. DeSantis credits the jump to more widespread testing.
I think we need to be continuing to test at a high level. I think that's the right thing to do. I said when we reopen, we're going to double testing.
DeSantis says the state averages 30,000 test results per day, and more testing leads to more positive test results. Miami-Dade County is taking another step toward normalcy. Mayor Carlos Jimenez announced yesterday the curfew is lifted and beaches will reopen tomorrow. It's welcome news for small businesses on Miami Beach that are struggling.
It will help. I think if the bars and restaurants open as well, it would help. Definitely the hotels. And in Miami, with no tourists, there's no business.
With coronavirus-related restrictions lifting and Floridians beginning to travel more, gas prices in the state are now their most expensive in 9 weeks. AAA's W.D. Williams says the statewide average is now $1.90, up 2 cents a gallon from last week and 14 cents higher than a month ago.
The economy is rebounding. People that were working from home are now starting to go back to their normal place of work. So those daily commutes consume a lot of gasoline system-wide. So the demand is increasing, and we all know as the demand increases, the prices are going to increase as well.
Williams expects prices to top $2 a gallon in the next week or two. A Chinese official is telling Rick Scott to prove it. The Florida senator told the BBC that there's intelligence evidence that China is trying to sabotage efforts to find a vaccine. The Republican says the Chinese don't want the U.S. to be the first to come up with a cure. Some tense moments Monday on the Florida State University campus in Tallahassee as police pursued a man who may have been armed with a handgun. Police say the situation is now under control, though they didn't give any details. In place order has been lifted. And separate shootings in South Bay and Belglade claimed 2 lives Monday. PBSO spokeswoman Terry Barbara said the first shooting occurred around 1 a.m. in the 900 block of Old U.S. Highway 27 in South Bay. When deputies arrived at the scene, they found a man dead from gunshot wounds. The motive for the shooting is unknown and no arrests have been made. And finally, another fatal shooting occurred in the 100 block of State Road 715 in Belgrade just after 1:30 p.m. Barbara said when deputies arrived, they found a man with gunshot wounds. The victim was taken to a local hospital in serious condition, but later died from his injuries. Jarrell Casey said Monday that the way the Titans traded him to the Broncos after 9 seasons in Tennessee was equivalent to throwing him away like a piece of trash. The defensive tackle discussed the trade on the Double Coverage podcast hosted by the New England Patriots, Devin and Jason McCourty. Casey was a former teammate of Jason McCourty with the Titans. He said, quote, "The part that is so crazy is that you give so much to them, especially when you come up on free agency and have opportunities to go somewhere else, especially the way it was going when we were 2-14, 3-13. Casey said to Jason McCourty, "Those were some rough times. When you're a loyal guy and you feel like things are going in the right direction and you're that centerpiece, you got no choice but to fight it through. My mindset was to stick it out and things would, for us to get to that point, to get better and be a main focus of that. And then you just throw me away to the trash like I wasn't a main block of that. Coming off an injury the year before and playing the whole season for y'all. No comments, no complaints. I did everything you wanted me to do and you throw me away like a piece of trash. At the end of the day, none of these businesses are loyal." The strong words from Jarrell Casey. News time is 6:24. Weather and traffic together are next.
$6:25 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. We're blended this morning on also WPSL. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you this segment by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, the roads are clear right now, so if you're heading out, it should be a good ride. The major highways, US 1 throughout Martin and St. Lucie County is looking good. There's your latest look at traffic. Stewart is at 78, and it's also 78 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the east coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
.628 the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's a blended show this morning with Evan and Bonnie. Fredo and the Shy Guys in the band are in the house. They're in the green room playing their little hearts away this morning. And Fredo, nice job with the band there this morning. They're sounding good.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well. Thanks for being here this morning. And I appreciate you bringing the donuts in this morning as well.
Yeah, man. I know you like the chocolate glaze, man.
Oh, yeah. Chocolate glaze, my favorite. Bonnie, what are yours?
I like the Boston cream. I think it's a Boston cream
There's
donut.
some Boston cream in the box in the other room. Did you go and look yet?
I like the kind, I think even more than the custard with the white cream filling, like a whipped cream.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll have to kind of look for those and enjoy.
All right. Sounds good.
No, I dig the chocolate glazed. I dig also the, they just have the plain Dunkin' donut. You know what I'm talking about? Without nothing on it.
Not just a regular Dunkin' donut.
Regular Dunkin' donut. There is just something about that.
Regular glaze.
For sure.
There's news this morning that Krispy Kreme is launching 3 new donuts based on desserts.
Oh, really?
And 3
What
new
are those?
donuts. They are Mississippi mud pie, banana pudding, and coconut cake.
Oh, wow. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Just put them in a trough and I'll just eat it out like a horse.
There you go. It's time for a segment that we do each and every morning on the Get Up and Go show. It's viral videos that have gone viral the day before. And here is one. This was one of the top trending videos yesterday, Bonnie. A little girl convinced her dad to come splash with her in a mud puddle. In a mud puddle. His pants and shoes ended up getting completely soaked, but it's a small price to pay for an amazing daddy-daughter moment. Let's listen to the audio.
Come here. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. This is so
Body photos. That's just so adorable. Isn't it? Wow.
Yeah. I think Mom is going to have them both take their shoes off when they try to come in the house, come back in.
Yeah, I would say don't bring the mud in the house.
Yeah, she'll probably
hose them down.
Yeah, exactly. There's another video that's out there that's going viral. It's let's see here. This is a nice switch. We usually see a car's side camera catch some random jerk keying the paint job, but this time a young boy looks into the side cam of a Nissan 370Z, gives it a thumbs up, and says he loves the car. All right.
Hi, dude. I love your car. Big fan. And just wonder why I have a GoPro on it, but hi. Again, sick car.
Right? That's pretty cool, huh?
That's cute. A little redheaded boy looking in the cam.
Right?
Phil, I don't know. Evan, you might have heard this story, but Phil, I don't know if you ever did. When my Mustang Roush had been brand new some years ago.
It was some years ago.
Well, it was
what year is that thing?
It's a 2002. But
and you're the original owner?
Second owner of it.
Okay. All right.
But the car was like 3 years old, so very new yet. But we had been to Busch Gardens, and my mom and my aunt were here visiting, and we were all at Busch Gardens.
Okay.
We come out there at the end of the day, and my car had just missed a row from a whole row where somebody had keyed all of the cars.
Oh, no. That's
row.
awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
We were out there like witnessing it. Good gosh, I'm sure they should have like security camera out there, even though it was like it was a long time ago. But I mean, who would, go and do that? Just key a whole row of cars at Busch Gardens. But yeah, my car we had just missed it. So,
wow.
had had my new car been in that row, yeah, it would have been keyed too. It was just like a weird situation.
Wow, that's crazy. So there's another viral video where it's set up with a guess the sound. Okay. So I'm going to play the sound and then I'm going to give you 3 choices. Okay. And we'll see if the 2 of you can get this. All right. So here's the sound. Okay. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Do you want me to play it again?
Okay.
Yes,
All right,
please.
here we go. Sounds like Bonnie's stomach with the otter in it.
It does. Baby otter.
All right. So all right. So here's your 3 choices. And this is on the video. Someone popping a balloon inside a nuclear power plant cooling tower, someone at the bottom of the Grand Canyon shooting a BB gun, or someone tossing an M80 into a dormant volcano. A, B, or C. Bonnie, which one do you think
Wait,
it is?
now what did you say that A was?
A is somebody popping a balloon inside a nuclear power plant cooling tower.
Wow.
That's A.
I'll say at first it sounded like if you go to one of those like Civil War reenactments,
Right.
and it sounded like footsteps and then some sort of cannon fire.
Okay. Which one do you think it is?
Maybe I'll
Popping popcorn.
I'm going to say the BB gun. Maybe the BB gun up the canyon.
The
I'll
BB gun
just
in the
guess.
Grand Canyon. All right. And Phil, which one do you think?
I'm going to go with C.
You're going to go with C. Well,
Yes.
you know what? You're both wrong. It's A. Somebody popping a balloon inside a nuclear power plant cooling tower.
Oh wow.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah. How about that one?
I wouldn't
How about
have,
them apples?
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I don't know if I want to eat those apples after
Yeah.
they've been in there.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd do a little round of this or that this morning.
Sweet.
One of the things that we do on our morning show, we want to share with our new listeners tuning in on a blended show on WPSL up in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
Since Mr. G and Ray are not with us this morning, they're off
Do
taking.
they have a doctor's note, by the way?
Yeah, we'll have to make sure we'll have to find out if they have a doctor's note. We'll have to have them check in with the principal up there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought we do a round of this or that, and we'd get each of your opinions on that. It's something these are things that we do on our morning show that we want to share with the listeners up in Port St. Lucie, right,
Evan,
Bonnie?
Yeah, Evan, each and every morning, Evan is here exercising our brain.
Yeah.
And, if I wasn't,
have the
if
exercise.
I
For
wasn't
lack of.
working, I wouldn't have a brain if I wasn't working with Evan.
Hey,
because
speak for yourself, Phil,
I
okay?
exercise.
Bonnie has one. She's more intelligent than you.
No, I don't think. No, Phil knows.
Hey,
Phil knows his
Just
stuff.
because I'm smart as a tractor doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I don't know if it's a John Deere or not. Maybe a Kmart tractor. Anyway, all right. So here it is. This or that. You pick one or the other, and you have to tell me why. Okay. So Phil, going to the grocery store or doing it pickup style?
I'm
Which
going
one?
to the grocery store. I got to go in and look at things.
You have to look at it, touch it, feel it, hold it. You're one of
Yeah.
those kind of guys. Okay,
Yeah,
Bonnie.
absolutely.
I'm the same as Phil.
Okay.
I like the experience of
Okay.
being there.
Me personally, ever since Rachel and I started doing the online thing, I actually like the fact that you can go online and you can grocery shop because
Yeah.
we know what we want. We know what the items already are. So we'll order it online and then we'll just drive up to Walmart and they just toss it in the back of the SUV
Yeah.
and away we go.
It
So
is.
it's a convenience thing.
I think I got on the Publix site to do that, and for some odd reason, I didn't order the groceries, and
Okay.
I'm not sure why. But anyway, I got on their site, I practiced it, and it was kind of
practiced.
cool how you can go.
Practice.
Yeah, well, I practiced it because I didn't put my order all the way through, and it didn't count.
Okay. That's true.
But,
All right, there you go.
it's
Yeah,
kind of cool
yeah,
how
yeah.
you can just go and pick out the categories with the
so
pictures.
you basically you wasted the computer's time is what you did.
I guess.
That's like wasting a human being's time.
Yeah.
Except
That
you
computer
wasted the
couldn't even
computer.
make a sandwich for crying out loud.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. That's all right, Bonnie. You can waste a computer's time all you want.
But it is kind of cool, and it's fun doing it. I can see why you and Rachel enjoy that.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
It is. It really is.
It is.
Because she'll yell to me in the other room, "Do you need orange juice? Do you need this? Do you need that?" But starting next week, I'm not going to be eating any groceries from the store for a month.
Why not?
One solid
Why
month
not?
because I start my diet after I go to Phil's this Saturday after
Okay.
Father's Day.
That's right.
The diet
forgot.
starts a week. It starts in 6 days.
Are you
Okay.
doing like a Weight Watchers diet?
No, I'm
where-
doing Nutrisystem again.
Nutrisystem.
I've done it now. This is not an advertisement for Nutrisystem, but
Mm-hmm.
I lost 40 to 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
You did.
Nice.
Yes, and I put a bunch of weight back on
Yeah.
being quarantined, so I'm not happy with the way I feel. So, and the way I look, especially, and I need to lose about 30 pounds.
And you know
I think
what,
we-
Evan? You're not alone with that. A lot
Mhm.
of people during that quarantine.
You know, when you just said that
Yeah.
you're not alone, I thought of Michael Jackson's song. You are not alone. Right?
But you're right, man. I went through ice
Yeah.
cream during this whole thing.
How many
It's like-
gallons did you go through?
Oh, I can't even tell you. 'Cause
I
especially
think I
found
went
out-
through like 5 or 6.
I found all these
Wow.
different flavors really
Yeah.
good, and I'm like, oh man! And then the magic shell on top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake.
And I buy
Yeah.
it thinking, this is great. I'm going to buy it for the family and, get these different flavors. But sooner or later, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
And I'm eating it at all hours of the day.
Yeah, when we went to the grocery store the other day, Rachel said to me, do you want some ice cream? I said, no. So what do I do last night? I go in the freezer. I figure, what the heck? I'm starting Nutrisystem next Monday. And I just indulged in the half gallon of chocolate ice cream
Oh,
that
yeah.
was in there.
What kind?
Was it,
What's-
it was just generic brand.
Oh,
Just
okay.
generic brand,
Because I found one that had real bits of birthday cake and icing in it.
Oh,
Wow.
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 It was so good.
All right. All right. So let's get back on track. This or that. Phil, actual book or a Kindle? Which one?
Book.
Book? All right.
I like the pages. I like the feel of the book.
You like to
I-
turn the pages. Okay, Bonnie?
Do you even like the smell of the pages when
Oh,
like those old
absolutely.
pages?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with Phil. I like the look and feel of the book.
Okay. I agree with the two of you. I like the look and the feel of the book as
Yeah.
well. Phil, here we go. Writing checks or 100% plastic?
Oh, plastic.
Plastic,
it's like it's too much of a pain to sit there and write things out.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Bonnie, which one for you?
Plastic too.
Plastic
yeah.
also?
Yeah.
Yeah, plastic for me also as well.
The
Definitely.
the only time in the past lately when I've written a check is when I have to send it to the DMV or to the Florida Highway Patrol when I go through the turnpike and it.
Oh, when you
fly
pay
right
All
your-
through
those
there.
tickets you get.
Yeah, the ticket.
Well, yeah, they do toll by plate is what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
But you can
okay.
do that electronically online with your card.
you can.
Yeah, you just log right on to sunpass.com.
That's true.
Mhm.
I've sent them checks in the past.
You
Yeah.
need to get that sun pass, Bonnie.
Yeah,
No.
Bonnie and I have had a conversation about that. Phil, maybe we'll chip in halves and we'll buy her a sun pass on Saturday.
Maybe we'll do
when
that.
I
Yeah.
come over, and then I'll present it to her on Monday's show.
I told Evan yesterday that the nice lady at the toll booth paid my toll fee the other day. It was only
Kind
90.
of a paying forward.
It was only 90 cents, and she was so nice. I wonder if she felt sorry for me just because I'm driving an old vehicle.
No, she just had extra change in her change cup, is what it was, and she needed to get rid of it. So she figured, here, just put it to the girl behind me. That's
that was
all.
nice of her, though.
All right, Phil, here we go. Beer or wine? Which one?
Oh, good Lord. Wine.
Wine. Okay. Any
Wine.
particular reason why?
You can have it with dinner. I do like beer, but if I had a choice, it's wine because I can't get schnockered as quickly.
Okay. All right. Schnockered. All right, Bonnie, which
Schnockered.
one do you prefer?
I prefer a cold beer.
A cold beer?
Yeah.
You're a beer kind of girl.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any particular brand?
I just like Budweiser
Okay.
and the Stella.
Don't you like the craft beer?
Stella Artois? I find
Artois.
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 They're getting all fancy.
Oh, Stella Artois.
Yes.
it's
Yes,
very
with Hans her cat and her Artois beer.
Yes.
yes, it's very equivalent to a Budweiser.
Okay.
You know.
All right. I can just see her and Jack Frosty
Yeah.
with a beer.
Excuse me, you have any Grey Poupon?
Grey Poupon to go with that
Yes.
kitty. Yes.
Yes. I am petting my kitty. Hi.
And once in a while, I could go for a Natty Light because it's cheap.
Okay.
Yeah, I like my natty light.
They've come out in those flavors.
All
like
right.
strawberry lemonade.
I
and-
have to ask
Yes.
I have to ask Fredo which one he prefers. Fredo, beer or wine? Which one do you like?
Malt liquor, man. Malt liquor.
All right. Well, there you go. Fredo likes malt liquor. There you go. He likes the cheap stuff. All right, Phil, going to the aquarium or the zoo? Which would you prefer, Phil?
I like both, but I kind of dig the aquarium.
Oh,
yeah, I do dig the aquarium. I tell you, SeaWorld, though, I got to say something about SeaWorld. They have an awesome penguin encounter.
They really do. I've been through that before. Bonnie, have you ever been through it?
No, I haven't been.
It's really
up there.
cool. Very cool.
For my wife's birthday, I actually got her the backstage deal, and you actually go in the back and you actually touch the penguins and hold them. And
we did that
really cool.
down at the Seaquarium in Miami. Rachel, myself, and Gavin. We swam with the dolphins down at the Seaquarium in Miami. That I didn't get in because I won't get in there with a dolphin. Sorry, I just have this phobia. So you won't catch me in there with Flipper. It's just not going to happen. But the wife and Gavin, they got in and did the dolphin encounter. That was a lot of fun. By the way, if anybody wants to call in and participate in the program, you're more than welcome to 220-9788, 220-9788. We are a blended show this morning. My name is Evan. This is Bonnie, and this is Phil, and you're not, but that's okay. We enjoy having you and letting us into your homes this morning on the blended show as G and Ray are taking a much needed day off. Phil, pancakes or waffles? Which one?
Depends on the day, but I dig the waffles.
I dig the waffles as well, especially chocolate chip. Bonnie?
But don't get me wrong, I can eat a stack of pancakes.
Okay, all right.
I'll take a fluffy pancake.
Fluffy pancake?
Yeah.
With or without syrup? What kind of syrup?
I don't know, just regular syrup
Okay.
and maybe a little bit of butter. Little
Okay.
pat.
All right, Phil, a 6-hour airline flight or a 3-hour bus ride?
Oh, air flight.
Air flight?
Buses depress me. They really do. Lonely people and just I want to get there too.
Plus it gets that bus smell.
It's bus smell. It's the bus has a smell?
Well, have you ever been
Are
like
you saying that a bus is nasty?
I was on a Greyhound bus ride, Evan, for
Okay.
what should
I
have
did
been
that one time too.
It should have been 6 hours, but I think it was
And
like
it
overnight.
Stunk?
Yeah.
Really?
You get all those people compacted together, and
Well, it's the same
Evan-
thing on a plane.
That could be-
Everybody's
Evan,
sitting close.
Have you ever taken a bus like that?
No.
I have.
Well,
And-
actually, yes, I have. I took a bus from Clover Park down to Marlins Park. We had a company bus trip because the Mets were playing the Marlins, and our bus didn't stink.
that's different. That's a chartered bus.
Okay, but a bus is
we're
a
talking
bus.
about like a regular,
Oh, yeah.
long distance bus thing.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And they're not fun.
My stepdaughter, her class up in she's in the DeLand area.
Okay.
They took a bus. They took like 3 buses, I think, to Washington D.C. on this huge field trip.
Right.
And we were laughing, but she was telling us that on the way back, the bus on back of her with the boys had to make an emergency stop.
Really? Why is that?
Because of the smell.
The smell? Did somebody do something they weren't supposed to?
But
Did somebody eat some beans?
so these
Some
teenage
beans.
kids, the girls in that one school bus laughing, the boys.
So because it stunk in the back, they decided to stop the bus to fumigate it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe we should fumigate the news desk.
Well, I get you. WPSL is getting their money's worth today.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. All right. Just keep that otter in your stomach,
Yeah.
okay?
Little sea
6:46. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where it's been fumigated. Now Bonnie is standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
And good morning, Evan. The coronavirus is responsible for 12 more deaths in Florida. The Department of Health says the state has now recorded a total of 2,712 deaths from the virus. New cases of the coronavirus are on the rise in Florida, but Governor Ron DeSantis says that is not cause for alarm. DeSantis credits the jump to more widespread testing.
I think we need to be continuing to test at a high level. I think that's the right thing to do. I said when we reopen, we're going to double testing.
DeSantis says the state averages 30,000 tests per day, and more testing leads to more positive test results. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hope Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads in many communities remained underwater in Martin County. Furry Friends Adoption Clinic is seeking donations to help care for a group of dogs rescued from a recent hoarding situation. Last week, nearly 20 schnauzers were found living in deplorable conditions. The dogs are now safe but in desperate need of some tender, loving care. Due to the pandemic, the shelter said they are low on funds and looking for donations to help nurse the dogs back to health. The conditions were horrifying. These dogs never left the home. They ate where they went to the bathroom around in their feces. The shelter said it will take at least a few months before they will be available for adoption. Publix is donating $1 million to Southeast affiliates of the National Urban League to support their civil rights efforts. The company says the donation is part of its longstanding support of the group's efforts. Publix CEO Todd Jones sent a letter to associates saying the company rejects racism and discrimination of any kind. The letter was posted under a section titled "Committed to Diversity" on the company's website. At Publix, we reject racism and discrimination of any kind. And it's time for a look at sports. Vanessa Bryant is really shooting for the moon in the wrongful death lawsuit she filed over the deaths of Kobe and their daughter Gianna. Vanessa is suing Island Express helicopters and the chopper pilot who was also killed in the crash last January. And her lawsuit states that she wants, quote, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, while that might sound excessive when you first hear it, the lawsuit says Kobe's future lost earnings would be in that range. News time is 6:49 and weather and traffic together are next.
It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning. Don't roast, call Seacoast. And now here's Bonnie.
Well, we don't have any accidents to report on this Tuesday morning. The roads are looking fine, and this includes both Martin and St. Lucie County. There's your latest look at traffic. Here in Stewart, we have 78. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the east coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you for calling NextCare. My name is Amy. How can I help you?
Hello!
Hi, how can I help you?
Guess what?
What?
I'm having a party, and you're invited!
You've reached NextCare Urgent Care. Is there something that I can help you with?
When did you discover that you were so beautiful?
I think you have the wrong number, sir.
Dr. Jinka Janka in?
We don't have a physician by that name at our clinic.
Dr. Winslow J. Jinka Janka.
Is there something that I can help you with, sir?
I'm trying to use the phone!
I think you have the wrong number, so I will be disconnecting the call.
Well, my mistake. I know you're one of mine.
Oh man,
Was that Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah, that was Pee Wee
I kind
Herman.
of thought, okay.
That was definitely Pee
You know,
Wee
he took
Herman.
that show on Broadway and was very successful with it a couple
Yeah,
years
he
ago.
did. He definitely did. We have a couple of minutes till top of the hour, so I thought I'd do a segment called "Did You Know?" And if you try not to catch someone's yawn, the urge gets even stronger, and you'll probably just end up yawning anyway.
Why is that?
I don't know.
That yawn has that
It just
kind of ripple.
Contagious.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
It really is. Did you know that if you're having trouble sleeping, researchers say eating kiwi may help you fall asleep 35% faster?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to have to try that because I have an issue with sleeping. Did you also know that according to a recent survey, looking in the mirror for 10 minutes at a time can ruin your self-esteem? So, Bonnie, quit staring in the mirror. Okay, I have to quit doing that also, and Rachel does also.
You know what else can? Taking too many selfies also can.
Yeah,
kind
that
of
can ruin your
that.
self-esteem. Yeah.
I love looking in the mirror, actually.
Oh God, you're in love with yourself, Phil.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Did you know that?
Someone has to be.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that about 46% of Americans say they've managed to get a pay raise by just simply asking? Just by simply asking.
Yeah, when in doubt, just ask.
When
'Cause
in doubt,
you never know.
just ask it out.
Can we get a pay raise?
No,
I tried, Bonnie.
not going to happen.
Thanks
hey,
for trying anyway.
Hey, Fredo, can you strike the band up for me to take us to the top of the hour, please?
Yeah, can I get a pay raise?
No.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
As we get to the top of the hour, we want to say we're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station, and also WPSL, Port St. Lucie. Fredo and the Shy Guys going to take us all the way top of the hour to the news break. And then we'll be back with hour number 2 of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on a blended show right here on the Treasure Coast. We'll be back.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
You know what time it is? It's morning.
What time?
Morning.
Oh, good morning.
TGIF, right, guys?
That's today?
No, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday morning. It's time for
Your favorite
radio show.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's dark and dirty and has like those weirdos who work there.
Oh, that radio show.
They're my favorite.
No, I know what you like.
Turn it up.
Turn it up!
Come on, it's showtime.
Did they call us weirdos? Bonnie, did that guy just say there's weirdos working there?
I think he did, but I don't feel offended by it. Do you feel offended, Evan?
Well, I don't feel offended. I'm not a moron, unlike somebody else called me this morning.
Phil, how do you feel about it? Are you easily offended?
No. I've been.
I could have been like
everything in the book.
I could have been like a child, and I could have said it takes one to know one, but I didn't do that.
Neener.
Yeah, I didn't do that. You know, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Why do grown-ups get so childlike?
I don't know.
I've been watching too much.
There's too much hate in the world.
You know, I've been watching the ID channel too much lately of something about don't trust thy neighbor, something with the neighbor show where, you know, these like say somebody moves in and at first the neighbors come off as friends and they're acting all orderly, doing something nice for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Some little thing in there will usually go haywire, and then it'll, lead to them really fighting with one another. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but
No, never have.
it's just like grown-ups that just turn into acting like little kids.
Never have before.
And well, you should watch it
Never have.
sometime. They have different people, different parts of the nation, different scenarios with neighbors, like a reality, and
Okay.
they tell the story of. And usually the story ends tragically. I hate to say, but you know, when you're going to act like little kids and not trusting your neighbors and not being nice to your neighbors.
This is true. This is true. We're a blended show this morning, folks. So if you're just waking up and you're tuning in on 1590 WPSL and you're wondering where G and Ray are, no, they did not get fired. No, they were not furloughed. They did not get pink slips. They're not in the unemployment line.
Right.
They are just taking a much needed day off. That's it. Plain and simple. They just wanted a day off.
It's well
You know
deserved.
you know why they wanted a day off? Because they
Why?
wanted to go to Blind Creek Beach. That's why. That's probably why.
G says he's watching us on camera on
Yeah.
Facebook. We should have the camera rolling there.
No. Not at Blind Creek Beach. No. No.
Camel lens will crack.
No, G and Ray did not go to Blind Creek Beach. They just wanted a day off. They're probably out doing some errands, getting some things done that they don't normally get done early in the morning, which is true because you can only do things, certain things at certain times of the day. So they put a formal request in writing and they got the day off.
I would only hope that Ray is fishing because I know he loves to go fishing.
He does.
And he deserves.
He loves to go fishing.
Now, does he combine his love for bass fishing with exercise and call it bassercise?
Yeah.
Oh, bassercise. I like that one. That's a new one. Bassercising. That's where you fish for bass and you exercise at the same time.
Bassercise.
That's like when you listen to jazz music and exercise, it's jazzercise.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right?
What
How
if
many
you-
puns can you do on that one, Bonnie?
What if you drink beer while you're fishing? You can call it
Beer-a-size. Yeah,
Beer-a-size.
beer-a-size.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one that came to mind, but I don't want to go there because I don't really want to shock anybody. So I'm just not gonna go there this morning.
Maybe you better if it wasn't clean, you might want to keep it clean.
Yeah, if it's
you
not
know?
clean, we'll
the
keep it
magic
green.
8-ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we ask the Magic 8-Ball? I don't know. What do you think? Do you have a question for the Magic 8-Ball, Bonnie?
Let me see if I can think of one. No, I don't. I don't.
All right.
I don't. My day is just.
I have a
going
question.
So amazingly well that I don't have to ask it anything.
Will bassercise ever become an Olympic sport?
Magic 8-ball reply is yes. When you pay $16.99 for the art magazine, see website for details.
Thanks. Why did I know you were going to go there?
I don't know why you
Magic
don't
8 Ball
like.
has spoken.
I don't know why you don't like that AARP magazine.
I just can't bring myself to getting an ARP subscription, even though I'm 60.
You know, it has some good articles.
You know, it's crazy. George is older than me.
Is he?
G's older than me. I
Is
think
he now?
is.
He might be by a year or two.
I think he's older than me.
Yeah, I think you're right because I think G is the same age as my brother.
Yeah.
And my brother is 12 years older
Back
than
in
me.
the day, I
Yeah.
used to work for G. I used to work for G at an urban station. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to work for G at an urban station. I have to be very careful how I skate on this one. Okay. And it was a lot of fun. But G's haircut back in the day, he used to wear these Ray-Bans. Every time. He would never take the Ray-Bans off. He always had his black Ray-Bans on all the time, even when it was nighttime. Never took these things off.
Oh, wow.
And he had this haircut that you could land, a helicopter on top of it.
Oh, wow.
He had a flat top back in the day. It was kind of like the Vanilla Ice haircut. I'm telling you, he had the best looking haircut
Yeah.
that money could buy back in the day. And I mean that, and with lots of love.
Yeah.
Love, peace, and love.
He did. He had the best looking haircut back in the day at WPOM. He really did.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And then when we saw him, all of a sudden we saw him at the radio station without the dreadlocks. And
Yeah.
we were like, gee, is that you?
You know what happened? He was mowing the lawn and he fell down and the lawnmower kept going and he was de-dreaded. So that's another exercise
De-dreaded.
that you can do with dreadlocks. It's called dreader size.
Dreader size.
Dreader size.
Dreader size.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Right now, it's time for a segment we do each and every morning called Birthdays, Anniversaries, and Back in the Day. We welcome your phone calls right now for the next 5 minutes or so. If you have somebody celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, you want to give them a shout out, give us a call, 220-9788, 220-9788. We let you have open phones for a few minutes to wish somebody a happy anniversary or a happy birthday. And Bonnie, we'll start with you.
Well, I don't have anybody to wish a happy birthday
No?
to today, but if they are celebrating a birthday, it's going to ruin the birthday being stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Because on the turnpike southbound, right around mile marker 140 in Port St. Lucie, there's a lot of traffic backup right now.
All right, we'll get to
Due
that
to road
during
work.
our traffic report. I like that little segue there. That was a good one.
If they have a birthday and they're stuck in
Right?
traffic,
Yes.
okay. I'll shut
All
up
right.
now.
All right. No, you don't have to shut up. No. All right, Phil, you have anybody you want to wish a happy birthday to?
A friend of mine, Erica Palmer. Her birthday's coming up, and
Okay.
she's a former leg model.
A former leg model.
Yeah, she
Wow.
used to do pantyhose commercials and stuff like
Okay.
that. and,
Where's
ads.
she located at?
She's in Boynton Beach.
Do you have her phone number?
No.
Didn't think so. How many times have I told you don't bring this to the table at the show unless you have a phone number, because we have to call them and wish them a happy birthday on the air?
Was she a leg model for Sheer Energy?
Yes.
Oh, man, I envy her so. I bet she
Yeah,
had those
she-
long, beautiful model kind of legs.
I used to DJ parties for her all the time.
Wait a
and
minute.
they're
Hold
her-
on 1 second. No, Fredo. Fredo just handed me a note and he said, I want to meet the leg model. Fredo, go back in the room, please,
Yeah,
with the
man.
band. You're not allowed in the studio here, okay?
Yeah,
For
man.
social
I want-
distancing purposes.
Why can't I meet her?
No,
Huh?
you can't. You
No?
have a girlfriend, Fredo.
No, I don't. Why you keep saying that? I have no girlfriend.
You told me you have 7 girlfriends the other day.
I have several girlfriends.
Several.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fredo's
hi,
a ladies'
Bonnie.
man.
Well,
Hi,
with it-
Bonnie.
hi, Fredo. With
Oh, there he goes again.
a girl with legs like that, you would have to, if you took her out on a date, you would have to get a limo because she'd have to show off her beautiful legs getting out of that limo.
And we'd have to play ZZ Top. She's got legs. Anyway, celebrating birthdays and anniversaries. Logan Browning is 31 years old today. That's the star of the Netflix show Dear White People. Mae Whitman's 32. That's Amber Holt on Parenthood. Natalie Portman. Remember her, Natalie Portman?
Oh, she's beautiful.
39 years old. That's Jane Foster in the Thor movies. Matthew Bellamy's 42. That's the lead singer and songwriter for Muse. Teddy Bruschi, or Bruschi, I'm not sure how you say it. Former New England Patriots linebacker, now works for ESPN. He's 47 years old today. Johnny Depp is 57. Johnny Depp, 57. Wow. Michael J. Fox, 59 years old today. You know what his real name is?
I think it might have to do with something of the middle letter of his name.
It's Michael Andrew Fox.
Michael Andrew,
but he goes by Michael J. Fox. Don't know why. He didn't want his stage name to be Michael A. Fox because as a Canadian, he thought people would say A. Like A. So he picked J instead. And it doesn't stand for anything.
It's just
No.
he just threw him the J because
Now, speaking of
it sounded good.
Speaking of Canadian, I was on the phone the other day with somebody that was a customer service rep. And they were from Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. And they used the word, they said, we're going to process your payment for you. Process. Now, in Canada, they say the word process, they say process. That's the way they say it in Canada.
And
I
they
am
don't
not
say
making
again,
fun of
they
that.
say again.
Right, exactly. I'm not making fun of Canadians. I want to say that right now. So I don't want people to think I'm making fun, but they do say process and again. So when she said process the payment, I said, I bet you're from Canada. And she goes, how did you know that? I'm like, because you said the word process, you said process. Just like people from Boston, they say park the car in the Harvard yard, opposed to parking the car in the Harvard yard. And again, I'm not making fun of Bostonians or anything like that. It's just a simple, true fact.
My sister-in-law was from Missouri. And they wash their clothes.
Wash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that some people say wash.
It's funny how you hear the way people announce different things from different regions.
Yep, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And like people in the South, they don't say dog, they say dog.
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 You're a hound dog.
Yes.
They don't say dog, they say dog. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, we're not making fun of anybody.
Yeah.
Just stating a simple fact.
Well, I have that I can have that strong Northern accent too. And where with my parents and my brothers, they have it like really, really thick.
Yeah.
And we were bringing up memories of G. And when I first worked at the music radio station under G, he was kind of, it was
you didn't work over him, you worked under him.
I worked under him, yeah. Yeah. But I pronounced I was saying theater.
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 Some people say theater. Some
Yeah.
people say theater.
And
Tomato.
I think it was
Mustard.
It might have been G or somebody at the station.
Mayonnaise, mayonnaise.
It's theater.
Theater.
So every
Theater.
time I say
It's
it,
a theater.
we're going to the theater.
All right. Donald Duck is 86 years old today.
86?
Donald Duck, 86 years old today.
Wow.
Jackie Mason, 89 years old today. Celebrating birthdays in the heavens, Jackie Wilson, R&B soul legend, and Les Paul, the inventor of that Les Paul guitar.
The guitar, yeah.
The guitar.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
One of the greatest guitars of all time, right
yes,
there.
definitely one of the greatest guitars. I actually play the guitar. So,
Do you?
You should-
I do.
You
I
should
play the
bring
guitar.
your guitar in and play us a little note.
I
or
don't
two
have a
one
guitar
day.
though. I don't.
Well, we
I
can,
don't. Maybe I can get somebody to loan me a guitar. One of our worship leaders at church, his name is Blaine. When I had his wife in here co-hosting when you were, you took a couple of days off, she informed me, she told me a secret about Blaine, that the folk guitar that he plays was given to him by Garth Brooks.
Oh,
Garth
imagine
Brooks
that.
gave him that guitar.
You would
So I don't think he would loan me that particular guitar.
He might not let you touch that guitar.
No, I wouldn't want to touch that guitar. But Blaine is a great guitar player. He really is. 7:21. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines this morning. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hobe Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads and many communities remained underwater in Martin County. The coronavirus is responsible for 12 more deaths in Florida. The Department of Health says the state has now recorded a total of 2,712 deaths from the virus. New cases of the coronavirus are on the rise in Florida, but Governor Ron DeSantis says that is not cause for alarm. DeSantis credits the jump to more widespread testing.
I think we need to be continuing to test at a high level. I think that's the right thing to do. I said when we reopen, we're going to double testing.
DeSantis says the state averages 30,000 test results per day, and more testing leads to more positive test results. After 3 gloomy months and 21,000 deaths that made it the nation's most lethal hotspot, New York City slowly began reopening on Monday in the biggest test yet of Americans' ability to keep the coronavirus in check. Stores previously deemed non-essential were cleared to reopen for delivery and curbside pickup, though customers cannot yet browse inside. Construction, manufacturing, and wholesalers also received the go-ahead to resume work, that in New York City. Now Miami-Dade County is taking another step toward normalcy. Mayor Carlo Jimenez announced yesterday the curfew is lifted and beaches will reopen tomorrow. It's welcome news for small businesses on Miami Beach that are struggling.
It will help. I think if the bars and restaurants open as well, it would help. Definitely the hotels. And in Miami with no tourists, there's no business.
With coronavirus-related restrictions lifting and Floridians beginning to travel more, gas prices in the state are now their most expensive in 9 weeks. AAA's W.D. Williams says the statewide average is now $1.90, up 2 cents a gallon from last week and 14 cents higher than a month ago.
The economy is rebounding. People that were working from home are now starting to go back to their normal place of work. So those daily commutes consume a lot of gasoline system-wide. So the demand is increasing, and we all know as the demand increases, the prices are going to increase as well.
Williams expects prices to top $2 a gallon in the next week or two. And lastly, a Chinese official is telling Rick Scott to prove it. The Florida senator told the BBC that there's intelligence evidence that China is trying to sabotage efforts to find a vaccine. The Republican says the Chinese don't want the U.S. to be the first to come up with a cure. After being scattered across the state and other parts of the country for almost 3 months, the Florida Gators are back together in Gainesville. They're ready to go through voluntary football workouts, which began on Monday. News time is 7:25, and weather and traffic together are next.
$7:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a blended show today, both on this station and WPSL. It's time for a look at traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Some construction is on the Turnpike this morning, and it's causing a little bit of traffic backup in the Port St. Lucie area. Turnpike southbound at Port St. Lucie, mile marker 140 through 133. This is happening southbound before Becker Road. Yeah, there's some traffic backup there. You might want to take an alternate. There's your latest look at traffic. In Port St. Lucie, it's 78. It's 79 in Stewart. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the east coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the biggest little radio show on the biggest little planet, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
Sweatpants. Leave off your shoes and your bra too. Sweatpants. With zero chance I'll be doing cardio. Let's lay while carbs go straight to our waist. Let's stay in the house eating snacks all day.
It's a David Bowie parody called Sweatpants. The actual song called Let's Dance. Remember that one?
Yes.
I think that was my favorite era of David Bowie with the 1980s and the videos. China Girl, I really loved.
I just thought he was strange.
Did you?
I thought he was a strange individual.
That was just his act, dude.
Yeah.
That's just the way like Boy George was the same way.
Did you just call me dude?
Yes, dude.
He called me dude, Bonnie. Calling me dude.
Did you think that, Evan, did you think David Bowie had like strange eyes because the one eye was a different color from the other eye?
Actually, a friend of mine's daughter has two different color eyes. I kid you not. One blue eye and one brown eye.
Yeah.
It's very unique and it's also very beautiful.
But do you know how David Bowie got this way?
No.
He was actually, now we were talking about the buses earlier. He was on it might have been a school bus at one time when he was younger. And he and a fellow got in a fight, a fisticuffs fight over a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the fella on the bus punched Bowie in the eye.
Okay.
And his eye just went a different color.
Okay.
And that's why his eyes are two different colors. It was during a fight.
Okay, give me your hand a
Wow.
minute.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do this. Phil, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm squirting some schmutz into
Oh, I
her
bet it
hand.
smells good.
It's
Oh, that always
no,
smells
now
so
you got to rub
nice.
it on your hand. Don't give it back to me.
So nice and fresh.
I gave her some hand sanitizer.
Is it
I
that
have
glitter
these-
stuff?
Well, no, I don't have that with me this week.
It smells good.
We have oodles of bottles of hand sanitizer at my house. And this particular one is called lemons and something. So I gave her a
Yeah.
little squirt and she smells it and then she hands her hand back to me like, here, take it back. I'm like, no, you got to rub it in your hand.
It's invigorating.
Right?
It's,
How do you like it?
Lemon, and I'm smelling a little bit of vanilla
Mm-hmm.
fragrance.
Do you
mixed
like
with
it?
The lemon. It's invigorating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very invigorating. Very, very invigorating.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
Well, folks, and especially those of you listening on our sister station, WPSL, this is a segment that we do each and every morning. It's called Stupid News. It's where I scour the nation the night before to find the stupidest headlines that are out there.
And
The
Evan
stupidest.
has found some really stupid
And-
ones in the past.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's
So
amazing.
first, authorities in England were going across the pond, where authorities in England recently pulled over a man who is driving nearly twice the speed limit. Okay, now you're wondering why he was going twice the speed limit. The man said he was making a 42-mile long drive to go to McDonald's for a hamburger. That's why he was going twice the speed limit.
So he was hangry.
He was hangry,
Hangry.
right?
Hangry and in a hurry.
So then when he gets done eating his burger, he can burger size, right? You like that one?
Yeah.
Burger
burger
size.
size.
He can burger size. All right. This one you're going to really like. A birthday weekend romp came to an abrupt halt last Friday when a 19-year-old female birthday girl pulled her male acquaintance off the bed by his private parts and threw him to the floor of a La Quinta Inn.
Ow.
Ouch.
La Quinta.
Yes. Responding to a 911 hang-up call from the hotel, cops spoke with the birthday girl who said that she invited the 19-year-old male friend to spend the weekend with her. Now, when the 19-year-old called her by the wrong name during a heated moment, she got angry and she yanked him off the bed by his privates.
Yes. She could have just grabbed him by the ear.
Yeah. Well,
Good Lord.
she wanted to teach him.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So
That gives. So,
I bet you he woke up real quick.
yeah. So, note to self. Note
Hold
to
on, I'm
self.
gonna write this down.
Note to self.
Note to self.
When you're in a heated moment with a significant other,
When
whether
heated
it's your
moment-
husband
Yeah.
or boyfriend or girlfriend,
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
be careful to call them by the proper name.
Call them by the proper name. All right, I got it.
Did you get that?
Or if,
Yeah, it's on the post-it note collection over here of your note to self.
and write
Thank
this
you.
one down, Phil. If you're going to,
Note to self.
do what she did, count to 10 and take a walk around the block, and don't be grabbing anything. Just
Don't be grabbing anything.
grab a sandwich on the way out, and that's all you grab.
You went down to the hot dog vending machine.
Yeah, but they were in a
downstairs.
hotel room. How could she grab a sandwich in the hotel room?
Or maybe a leftover slice of pizza that they had in that hotel refrigerator from the night before. I don't know.
It was a La Quinta Inn. You think they're going to put a refrigerator in a La Quinta Inn?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I've never stayed in one, so I'm not. I don't think I've stayed in La
Neither
Quinta
have I,
before.
so I can't. I don't know.
You never stay in La Quinta?
La Quinta, not La Quinta.
La Quinta, I'm sorry.
They
Oh.
look pretty classy.
Yeah, it's pretty
You know,
nice.
they're not bad.
Pretty nice place.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
trashing the place. Don't get me wrong.
Right?
I just don't think they'd have a refrigerator freezer in there.
I don't know. Some of them do.
Wait,
yeah.
you require a refrigerator and a freezer for a room?
Yeah, when I go out of town, I require a fridge freezer in my room.
Yeah, and you can't be
Sorry.
far from the ice machine either
I'm
because
hoity-toity.
of the adult beverages that you partake
I don't
in.
indulge in
Oh, that's
adult
right.
beverages. I don't drink.
I forget.
Yeah, I don't drink. So just don't accuse me of being.
Honey, you ever get those little bottles, the minis in the bar, little bar in the
you know, when
room
you
there?
go on the airplane, you get a drink and they give you that little mini bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You ever get those?
Yeah, I've gotten those.
You have a collection?
Usually it's a Jack Daniels and a Coke that I like on the airplane.
Okay.
And I get the
Oh.
little miniature of
What
Wow,
kind of
you-
Jack
you-
Daniels? The regular black or the honey or the cinnamon?
just the regular, you know.
Bonnie likes it high. She
Regular.
likes high test fuel when she has a beverage, so she goes for the Jack Daniels. It's like the heck with
Jack
the vodka.
Daniels
Give me the
is a pretty
Jack.
good is
Jack
a good
and Coke.
Tennessee whiskey.
It is. We
Yeah.
used to have Southern Comfort a little bit too back in the day. Did
That
you-
was the very first thing I ever got.
And then when
drunk
she's
on
done
was
with her
Southern
Jack
Comfort.
Daniels, she does Jacker size. See, we're getting all these
Yeah.
new words.
Yeah,
Jacker
Bonnie, here's
size
the
in the
question.
aisle.
Southern Comfort was the first thing I ever got drunk. The first adult beverage I ever drank. What was your first drink?
I think it might have been like a peach schnapps.
Oh,
I tried a
lady.
beer once,
Once.
just once,
How long
and
ago,
I
Evan?
literally I puked.
yeah, Mr. High and Mighty over here.
I puked. Honestly,
ya?
I threw up when I drank a beer.
Yeah.
I tried it when I turned 21, and I thought, let me give this a try because my dad was in the beer business back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And when I tried the taste of the beer, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. I wanted to vomit.
Oh yeah, your
I
stomach
did
couldn't
vomit.
handle it.
I literally did vomit.
Evan is sporting Nike today, by the way. What did I
What does
do?
that
Oh.
have to do with what we're talking
You have
You just went right off topic.
No, I just noticed because Nike is my favorite, and Evan has the nice Nike shirt matching
the
a
shorts,
Nike
Nike
hat. Show the
shorts.
camera, Evan.
They
Show
can
everybody
see.
how
There
you're
we
doing
are.
with that.
There we are. And I have the Nike sneakers, Nike socks.
I'm a Skechers guy.
Yeah.
You're a Skechers.
I like my Skechers.
So then you can
Feel
sketch
like-
your size when
I
you're
don't know.
done.
Skechers size.
Thank you.
I shouldn't laugh at that. Really, a lot of people.
Get
wear
that.
What's wrong with Skechers?
Nothing.
We just made a pun there, Bonnie, and you missed it.
What?
Sketch your size.
Skechers.
Sketch your size. Get it?
Ah, yeah.
Sketch your size.
Got it.
Skechers size.
There you go.
Love it.
An expecting parent took to a future mom's message board on Facebook to seek advice on how to respond to a less than desirable name choice for their baby son arriving soon. Now, in the post, the future mom claims, my husband and his parents are all math geniuses and wanted our son's name to include a math reference. The couple, who is expecting their first child in a couple of months, have been coming up with names that would refer to something mathematical for the cute and the funny idea. However, when the husband shared the name he came up with, the Facebook board made more normal suggestions like Dylan, Jared, and the future dad was shocked. Quote, my husband was like, yeah, I was thinking cube, as in Rubik Cube, the future dad wrote.
Ah.
I thought he was joking, but he was serious, the future mom wrote. I told him that was the stupidest name ever. He told me to think of it as cute. I told him I'd rather name him Sweater from Cube, the post concluded. Wow.
So-
Cube.
Cube.
Hi, meet my son, Cube.
That's yeah.
But
This
you know
is
what?
cute.
There's people that are naming their kids. Who was that celebrity who named her kid Apple?
That would be Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, do they really want their kids to be made fun of on the playground?
Apple.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
apple
Apple.
of my eye.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Then when you're done with being called Apple, you can
Yeah.
apple size.
I don't mind
apple
the
size.
name Apple. I think it was Courtney Cox that named her child, her daughter Coco.
Okay.
Coco.
Don't go there. Just please don't go there.
But that's like
don't go there.
That's the name of my kitty, though.
Okay,
You know,
Coco.
Coco. Yeah.
Well, a girl's name can be Coco. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, it's
Look at
kinda
the tennis star, Coco Graf.
oh, Coco Gauff.
Oh,
right?
Coco Gauff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Coco Gauff.
The young sensational
Yeah.
tennis star.
Right? Her name is Coco.
It is. That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No. What do you guys think of Echo? The name Echo for a little girl.
Echo is a pretty name. I would name a girl Echo.
Yeah.
I'm too much of a traditionalist. I like this basic names. You know,
Uh huh.
the Coco and Apple and what they going Ferrari. You know,
Ferrari.
Lexus.
Lexus.
I love
Lexus
the
is a nice name.
Lexus is, and so is Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Mercedes rule.
Okay, I
love
like that.
I love that name.
Could you imagine having a last name of Rule and the first name Mercedes? Or Benz?
Yeah.
Benz is the last name. You name your kid Mercedes.
Yeah.
Hi, meet my daughter, Mercedes Benz.
Mhm. Or your last name Oder and your first name Iva.
Iva Oder. Oh, don't get us started, Bonnie. Don't,
Here we go.
Don't get a.
We should do that, Evan. We should do the paging game.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, you know, and used to go in there and have to make the page certain names.
I feel like we're going to play spin the bottle here in a minute. A hotel on Germany's North Sea coast has banned overweight guests due to worries that they'll break the resort's elegant furniture. The Beach Hotel Sallenberg in the German city of Cuxhaven is hoping to welcome everyone back to the beach after the coronavirus lockdown ends. However, not everyone is welcome in the sand on the beach. In order to stay at the hotel, you need to be 286 pounds or less. For reasons of liability, they would like to point out that the interior is not suitable for people with a body weight of more than 286 pounds. The reason for the restriction, the hotel's elegant design furniture is far too sensitive and cannot support the weight of anyone over 286 pounds. So what happens when you check in and there's a weight limit to checking in?
What,
I've
they
never
weigh
heard
you?
of that one.
They
Yeah,
weigh
they
you when
do.
you walk
They weigh
in?
you. Yeah. They have a scale there.
Yeah. They should get some more sturdy furniture, some sturdier furniture.
I would think so.
They should order from the Amish. I bet they make some.
The Amish.
Amish.
Yeah. They make like really sturdy furniture from what I
How do
hear.
you know that?
Because I mean, it's all good because they put their hard work and effort and
I think we need to call George in Kentucky
Yeah, right.
and ask him about that.
What-
Because George
so-
knows about all that stuff.
What do they come in with a forklift with you at the hotel and bring you where you need to go if you're too heavy?
I don't know. But
Good Lord.
that's crazy. Being weighed before you check in.
It sounds
Oh,
wrong.
I'm sorry, you can't check in. You're 287 pounds.
Yeah, it sounds wrong because some of the most nice people, the most nice, incredible people I know are heavier set and overweight,
Mhm.
and to me, that's just wrong.
Speaking of Kentucky, all right. Speaking
Uh-oh.
of Kentucky, a Kentucky shoemaker is promoting social distancing with his latest innovation. It's a pair of 75-inch shoes that are about 2.5 feet long. The cobbler, yes, the cobbler in Lexington, Kentucky, said he was inspired to create the long-nosed leather shoes when he saw people failing to follow social distancing guidelines amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The shoes, which are available right now online at a website, go for $115 a pair, are about 2.5 feet long, and are listed as a size 12. So there's an extension that is built into the toe. The
You have some awfully big feet, ma'am.
Yes. The shoemaker said the shoes are designed so people facing one another would be forced to keep a distance of at least 5 feet.
Yeah.
5
Wow.
feet.
Whoa.
Wow.
Those shoes don't sound. I wouldn't want to have to walk around the mall all day in those shoes.
Could you imagine that? 5.5 feet.
Yeah,
My brother wears a 17 and a half size shoe.
Wow.
17.
Yeah, 17. I thought my feet were big. I wear a 13 and a half.
I wear a 13. Bonnie, what do you
Yeah.
wear? Like a 6?
A size 7
Okay.
and a half.
Rachel wears, I think my wife wears like a 9 or
A
an 8.
9.
Maybe a 7. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
7, I think is.
I should know those things.
I think most women are a size 7, and that's why if I find a pair of shoes like that I'm looking for, usually it's hard for me to find them because the 7s disappear so quickly.
Wow.
Because most women are in that 7 to 7.5 range, I think.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your stupid news for today. And from stupid news, we go to real news. Here's Bonnie at the news desk with the latest headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hope Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads in many communities remained underwater in Martin County. The city of Stuart is trying to figure out who posted offensive racial and religious slurs in a Stuart Community Redevelopment Board Zoom meeting last week. It sparked outrage amongst board members and some members of the Stuart community. Mayor Mike Meyer condemned the action and said the city will do what it can to find out who was responsible. In a resolution, the city apologized for the occurrence and said it denounces all acts of racism and discrimination. CRB appointee Faye James spoke to commissioners about an effort to try to make the resolution go a step further and create a diverse advisory board that would work closely with the city and its partners, which should include African Americans, Hispanic Americans, white Americans, and many other ethnic groups. Publix is donating $1 million to Southeast affiliates of the National Urban League to support their civil rights efforts. The company says the donation is part of its longstanding support of the group's efforts. Publix CEO Todd Jones sent a letter to associates saying the company rejects racism, discrimination of any kind. The letter was posted under a section titled Committed to Diversity on the company's website. At Publix, we reject racism and discrimination of any kind. Teenagers gathered Monday along State Road 7 and Glades Road in West Boca Raton to peacefully protest social injustice and police violence after the killing of George Floyd. The protest, called Are We Next, was led by an energetic group of students who urged an end to police brutality and police reform. Around 4 p.m., there were more than 100 teenagers who gathered at the intersection holding signs that read Black Lives Matter and color is not a crime. Members of the local Republican and Democratic parties were also on hand to urge people to vote and inspire change. And now a look at sports. And being brought to you by St. Lucie Draft House at 6332 US 1 in Port St. Lucie. Football coaches could begin interacting with their players as soon as the second week of July, and by mid-July, they'll be conducting walkthrough practices with a ball. That's according to an NCAA proposal set for approval this week. Continuing their progress toward an on-time kickoff to the season, college athletic leaders are set to take a giant leap down that path. On Thursday, the NCAA Division I Football Oversight Committee is expected to approve the long-talked-about 6-week preseason practice plan and recommend it to the NCAA D1 Council. The plan is in the last stages of finalization. News time is 7:49. Weather and traffic together next.
Time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning. Don't roast, call Seacoast. Here's Bonnie.
Well, we don't have any accidents to report for this Tuesday morning. The roads are looking clear. It looks like that road construction that we were seeing on the Turnpike 2 is being lifted for now, and traffic getting through in that Port St. Lucie area on the Turnpike. There's your latest look at traffic. A partly sunny sky at 79 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the east coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
And now, with coronavirus tips, here's Neil Diamond.
Wash your hands. Keep washing your hands. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. Don't touch me, I won't touch you. Beat coronavirus. Stay at home if you're not feeling good.
6:57, actually 7:57 on the Get Up and Go show. I'm off by an hour.
I see that.
Completely off by an hour. I'm waiting for Cliff Desmond to call in because we only have like 2.5 minutes left. And I wanted to get an update on how he's doing since we're simulcasting on both stations this morning. Our listeners up in Port St. Lucie and WPSL have probably wondered, where has Cliff gone? And, of course, we all know where he's gone. He's gone to take care of some business, and he's on the mend, and he's doing very well. And hopefully his phone will boot up in time to call us.
Yeah, I
messaged him.
I heard him call his own swap shop show yesterday.
Evan, oh, did he?
And he was talking to Ray Thomas on the air.
Okay.
And it sounded like he was doing really well. It's
all right.
The same Cliffy, with that big personality.
Yeah, definitely. So. That boisterous personality.
Yeah.
I don't see how he does that show. In fact, I'm thinking there's the phone right there. So I'm hoping that's him calling in. Good morning. You're on the air with us?
I am. I'm actually on the air with Evan and Bonnie.
There he is. And it's a blended show this morning.
And Phil.
Yes, the blended morning show, if I can keep my audio quiet over here.
There we go.
Hey, I'm getting the staples. The staples are being taken out Friday.
Okay.
So once they're out, then the physical therapy can start on Monday. But also on Monday, my Alexa is talking to me.
Okay.
On Monday, I start physical therapy.
Very good. So you'll be running track pretty soon.
Well, I'll be back at the station actually Monday in time for the 4 to 6 p.m. slot where I do the 5 o'clock news.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Wow, this has been a great recovery for you, hasn't it?
Well, it's not as great as the first one was because, all surgeries don't go the same way.
Right.
And don't forget, I was in physical therapy previous in order to, to get the leg ready. My Alexa won't.
God, would you please slap Alexa for me? Just tell Alexa to shut up. Jeez, she's so rude.
I if I could unplug it. But what's really cool about it, I can turn it all the way down. I can't do anything. How about that?
All right, that works. I've got Alexa too. I've got Alexa too. I'll be watching TV and my Alexa will go off just for no apparent reason. But I will say this much. A lot of people do miss you doing the swap shop. We're coming up on top of the hour, Cliff. I wish I had more time, but I'm glad you called in for just a few moments. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station, and we're WPSL Port St. Lucie. Stick around. It's a blended show this morning. It's Evan and Bonnie. Cliff is joining us, and Phil is joining us, and we've got the whole cast of characters. Sheriff William Snyder from Martin County Sheriff's Office will be joining us at the top of the hour with an update on what's happening in Martin County. Don't you dare go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.807 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a blended show this morning. We're simulcasting this morning on WPSL as well. G and Ray have the morning off, much needed morning off. They're getting some refueling in their tanks, so to speak, right?
They are, and I think it's Greg, our boss, that'll probably be hosting Swap Shop too a little bit.
Yeah, Greg's going to be hosting Swap Shop a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But on the line with us right now is a gentleman that never needs any refueling at all. He just goes 24/7 pretty much. I don't know how he does it, but the sheriff of Martin County is joining us on our line right now. William Snyder is with us. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Evan, Bonnie, and the rest of the Treasure Coast.
Definitely. First and foremost, I ask you the question all the time before we get into our topics. How are you doing, your family, and the extended family at the sheriff's office?
Thank you. Well, my close family, I'm blessed. My daughter from Texas is here with two of my grandchildren.
Wow.
And and the sheriff's office is still by God's good blessings COVID free, and that includes our 700-bed jail.
Wow.
I love hearing news like that. I really do.
Very awesome.
I really, truly do. Hey, Sheriff, just a quick question. Do the grandkids ever say to you, hey, Grandpa, do they call you Grandpa or Pop-Pop? What do they call you?
Well, it's kind of odd. I thought I wanted something aristocratic, so all my grandchildren call me grandfather.
Wow. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, well, I just did,
kind of more formal, so to speak.
Well, we live in very informal times. People wear untucked shirts to funerals and weddings. And
right.
I just thought I would introduce a little more old world into their lives.
I like that. I think that's a fantastic idea.
So your grandfather Schneider.
Grandfather Schneider.
Yeah.
Well, it's when they're first, when they first try it, of course, as infants, it's a difficult one, but it rolls off all their tongues now.
So do you ever hear grandfather, can we go for a ride in the police car?
Yeah, well, look, I drive a big unmarked Tahoe full of lights and cameras in action. They all get to play a little bit.
Nice. Grandfather, can you make the lights go and the sirens go? I love it. Yeah. I love it. And that must make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, too, when the grandkids ask to see things like that.
Well, yeah, it does. I just have to be careful. I don't want to influence them into law enforcement.
I love it. I love it. Give those grandkids a hug for me, man. I'm a grandfather of one, and you're twice me, so I love it. I think being a grandfather is probably the best thing. It's even better than being a parent, I must say.
Well, it's Well, the old saying, you can give them back when you're done visiting.
So, that's so true. You could sugar them up, you can spoil them, and then hand them right back.
Yeah.
And be done with it. So, Sheriff, I wanted to have a discussion with you this morning about defunding police and what that looks like, and get your thoughts on that, if you could.
Well, when I first heard it, I just thought it was some far crazy rhetoric, and my thought would be, how could you defund the police? Because I have always looked at law enforcement as essential to Western civilization. That in order for people to get up and go to work in the morning, put their children on school buses, go to church on Sunday, you have to leave your home. You have to leave your property. You have to leave your car. You have to trust that someone will protect when you're not there. So society for a long time in Western civilization has delegated the protective responsibilities for their property and their family to law enforcement. And I couldn't imagine how would you change that paradigm? How would that look if people took over for themselves? So I dismissed it, but now, we see in Minneapolis where, in fact, the commissioners have committed to doing it, and I don't know how that works. Somebody breaks into your house, do you get your neighbors together and you catch the person, and then what do you do? Where do you hold them? What do you do at the jail? What do you do when there's a car crash somewhere? So on a practical level, just looking at it practically, take away the rhetoric and the chanting and the posturing, and just ask yourself, how does that fundamentally work? And I'm going to be kind of interested to watch Minneapolis, see what happens.
Now, when they say defunding the police department, for those people listening, can you explain it? What does that mean? That they just disband? They get rid of the police department completely?
Well, I don't think the people chanting that, bumper sticker chants are hard to flesh out, but I'm not sure they know what they mean. I think in some respects, what you're seeing in New York, I think Los Angeles did it, and others, they're diverting funds that were earmarked for law enforcement to social programs, and I think there's a good discussion about how much of society's treasure should go towards helping people who have trouble helping themselves. But that's separate from law enforcement. But so on the defund methodology there, you see a diversion from already established budgets. I think Minneapolis is actually talking about doing away with law enforcement completely. So I guess you would have all the middle ground there to kind of flesh it out. Interestingly, if people have asked me about it, the Florida Constitution requires a sheriff in every county unless there's a charter like Dade County, and then you can actually have a quasi-police chief. So in order for that to work in Florida, you have to change the Constitution. I suppose at its extreme, a commission somewhere in Florida could say, okay, well, we won't do away with the office of sheriff, and your constitutional responsibility to be in session with the courts, and so we'll fund you and we'll fund the courts and pay for the jail, I guess, and defund everything else. I don't see that happening anywhere in Florida, but I've been really surprised by a lot of what I've seen in the last 2 weeks, so that's my sense.
I was under the impression, Sheriff, that, this is just me. What it meant was if they defund the police department, the city of Minneapolis, the police department goes away and then the county takes over. Is that something that would happen, or we're not sure of what's going to go on?
Well, in Florida, let's just use Martin County. If the city of Stewart decided to defund the police department, I have a constitutional responsibility to pick up all law enforcement everywhere in the county.
Okay.
So you can have a city police department, and we have Stools Point, Stewart, of course,
right,
Rhode Island, and they could do away with law enforcement. I would be constitutionally bound to pick up the difference.
Now, then, does that mean that those officers then become deputies with the sheriff's office?
No, it means that they become unemployed, and they could apply for they could apply for employment with the sheriff's office.
Okay, but it works differently though when a county jurisdiction takes it over, not due to defunding. Then those officers can become deputy sheriffs, right?
No. The sheriff's office is the sheriff's office. And it's happened all over the place.
Right.
In Palm Beach County, Dade County's had some of it where Broward's the biggest example, where they turned over to Broward Sheriff's Office policing responsibility, and then it's up to the sheriff to take applications. I mean, I don't know how it would look here as far as how many would meet our qualifications, but just thinking out, if they met qualifications, we would hire.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's go on to our next topic and talk about the local protests over the last week. How have those been going?
They have been nonviolent, and we have had, I don't think we even had any incidents. We've had some close calls. We had a few people walk into the street, and they got out when we asked them to. But there was no objects thrown at us, no damage done to local businesses. People were able to vent their grievances and frustrations, exercise their First Amendment right, and go home. They didn't even leave trash.
I didn't even see anything in the media about any protests in Martin County at all, period, over the last week. I didn't even know that there was any at all.
Well, there was a pretty big one there at the bridge a week ago.
Well, that one, yeah, we talked to you and I touched on that last week.
Oh yeah, since then there was one in front at Lockhart and US 1.
Okay.
That was Saturday. My days running together.
And there was,
I don't know, maybe there's 150, 200 people there.
And there was a big one not too long ago in front of the Treasure Coast Mall as well.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had 3. We had one in Indian Town Sunday, and that one was nonviolent.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I'm noticing too around the country, Sheriff, that a lot of the protests are now less and less violent, and it's more so people just vocalizing what they want. And that's all they do, is they just want to be heard.
Yeah, I think if you look at the news clips and such, you probably close to the truth would be that the majority of people did not want to be violent, and that interspersed in those crowds, whether they were local or they came from out of town, I just think that's just a distraction to look at. Oh, it's out of towners. At the end, it's almost irrelevant. If you have hundreds of people and 99% want to be peaceful, you could easily have a lot of violence if there's agitators throwing rocks and balls at the police, who then try to move the whole crowd back. It's just a bad situation when you mix peaceful people who want to make a statement with people who want to throw or hurt law enforcement or damage property.
And Sheriff, how do you feel about the protesters? Boy, I think they're like urging all protesters pretty much now to get tested too for coronavirus. And
I think that's probably a good move, because we went from a lockdown to throughout the country, tens of thousands of people in close proximity to each other, yelling and screaming. I think it's a good idea if you're in the middle of one of those protests. Probably wouldn't hurt to get tested.
Yeah, more so, especially if you're not wearing a mask. And I noticed that a lot of people during those protests are not wearing masks, and the numbers are literally increasing. So the CDC did recommend for people to go and get tested.
Well, I guess you could say it was an inconvenient time to have a demonstration in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, but for what went down, you knew this is what it had to come to. But thank goodness most of the protesting has been peaceful. And you're right. What you said before, Sheriff, I think is like it would be counteractive too for them to kind of go out and protest and fight amongst one another. So it's a good thing everything is turning out peaceful.
Lastly, Sheriff, tell us a little bit about the Sheriff's Office lobby area, if you would. Let our listeners know what the status is with that, so people, if they need to come down there for any kind of business.
We are able to take care of almost all business now at our lobby. We're still being careful, asking people we provide masks if you don't have one. Our desk operator, the deputy, is meeting people outside, determining what they need, asking those few important questions to see if there's a COVID, imminent threat, and then get the mask on and come in. We're doing testing for dispatching and getting reports for people. We do more online than we used to, but that's a convenience, not an inconvenience.
That's Sheriff William Snyder from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. He joins us each and every Tuesday to give us an update on what's happening in Martin County. Sheriff, God bless you, your family, and the extended family at the Sheriff's Office. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and to all our friends in St. Lucie County. You have a wonderful sheriff down there in Ken Mascara.
Definitely so, and we're going to get him back on the air here in the near future as well.
Yes,
we've had him on a couple of times. Thanks, Sheriff. Be well, and God bless you.
Same. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now. Wow, that's I always love having him on. I feel like he's family,
Yes.
I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt. 8:21 is your time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The coronavirus is responsible for 12 more deaths in Florida. The Department of Health says the state has now recorded a total of 2,712 deaths from the virus. New cases of the coronavirus are on the rise in Florida, but Governor Ron DeSantis says that it is not cause for alarm. DeSantis credits the jump to more widespread testing.
I think we need to be continuing to test at a high level. I think that's the right thing to do. I said when we reopen, we're going to double testing.
DeSantis says the state averages 30,000 test results per day, and more testing leads to more positive test results. With coronavirus-related restrictions lifting and Floridians beginning to travel more, gas prices in the state are now their most expensive in 9 weeks. AAA's W.D. Williams says the statewide average is now $1.90, up 2 cents a gallon from last week and 14 cents higher than a month ago.
The economy is rebounding. People that were working from home are now starting to go back to their normal place of work. So those daily commutes consume a lot of gasoline system-wide. So the demand is increasing, and we all know as the demand increases, the prices are going to increase as well.
A Chinese official is telling Rick Scott to prove it. The Florida senator told the BBC that there's intelligence evidence that China is trying to sabotage efforts to find a vaccine. The Republican says the Chinese don't want the U.S. to be the first to come up with a cure. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hope Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads and many communities remained underwater in Martin County. And lastly, Furry Friends Adoption Clinic is seeking donations to help care for a group of dogs rescued from a recent hoarding situation. Last week, nearly 20 schnauzers were found living in deplorable conditions. The dogs are now safe, but in desperate need of some tender, loving care. Due to the pandemic, the shelter said they are low on funds and looking for donations to help nurse the dogs back to health. The conditions were horrifying. These dogs never left the home. They ate where they went to the bathroom around in their feces. The shelter said it will take at least a few months before they will be available for adoption. Time for a look at sports, and being brought to you by St. Lucie Draft House at 6632 US 1, Port St. Lucie. Jarrell Casey said Monday that the way the Titans traded him to the Broncos after 9 seasons in Tennessee was equivalent to throwing him away like a piece of trash. The defensive tackle discussed the trade on the Double Coverage podcast hosted by New England Patriots Devin and Jason McCourty. Casey was a former teammate of Jason McCourty with the Titans. The part that is so crazy is that you give so much to them, especially when you come up on free agency and have opportunities to get somewhere else, especially the way it was going when you were 2-14, 3-13, Casey said to Jason McCourty. Those were some rough times when you're a loyal guy and you feel like things are going in the right direction and you're that centerpiece. You got no choice but to fight it through. My mindset was to stick it out, and things would, for us to get to that point, to get better and to be a main focus of that. And then you just throw me away like trash, like I wasn't a main block of that. Coming off an injury the year before and playing the whole season for y'all, no complaints. I did everything you wanted me to do, and you throw me like a piece of trash at the end of the day. None of these businesses are loyal. Strong words from Jarrell Casey. News time is 8:25, and weather and traffic together are next.
8:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a blended show. We're also on our sister station, WPSL, this morning. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
We don't have any accidents to report, so I guess if you have to get to work by 9, you should arrive on time. No slowdowns, no accidents. There's your latest look at traffic. In Stewart, partly sunny. It's 81. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the East Coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:30 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. We're simulcasting on our sister station, WPSL, this morning. Therefore, it's called a blended show. So for a blended space cast, here's Randy Siegel.
Good morning. Well, the astronauts on board the International Space Station continue to do a lot of great science work. NASA commander Chris Cassidy started his day by working in the Japanese Kibo laboratory module. The veteran astronaut disconnected and removed an HD TV camera from Kibo's airlock that filmed activities outside of the orbital lab. During the afternoon, he and fellow astronaut Bob Bainton and Doug Hurley, who recently got to the International Space Station, worked on the station's bathroom, checking drain valves, recycling tanks. They're located in the Tranquility module. The waste and hygiene compartment also recycles urine into drinking water. During one of my visits to the Space Center, they were testing out that system, and we were able to drink some purified water. And I got to tell you, except for the slight taste of chlorine, there was no difference in the taste of the water. Hurley and Benkin started off by unpacking more cargo from inside the Japanese HTV-9 spacecraft. After the space plumbing work, the pair set up the Quest airlock and began organizing hardware to get ready for upcoming spacewalks. Meanwhile, in the Russian segment of the station, Anatoly Ivanushin and Ivan Wagner inspected headsets and cables, updated communications inventory. The duo then split up, taking pictures of the Earth and studying the station's magnetic environment. The astronauts that will be going to the space station next have been very busy at work learning exactly what they need to do and being hampered by the coronavirus. They have to use a lot of virtual training as opposed to actual training because of what is going on. The MS-17 crew, which will be headed out in October, has spent time on the station before. Cosmonauts Sergei Rusakov and Serge Savashikov, as well as NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, have been working with the first crew. The backup crew includes cosmonauts Oleg Novitsky and Peter Dubrov, and they've been working with NASA astronaut Mark Vanderhee. In Australia, they're getting ready to resume rocket launches, and they intend to team up with the Department of Defense and work on hypersonic rockets. The hypersonic rocket is one that flies really low in the atmosphere, but at a tremendous speed. The hope is that these tests will lead to the ability to launch satellites rather quickly into orbit. In a really interesting story, the first U.S. woman to walk in space has become the world's first woman to reach the Challenger Deep, which is the deepest point on Earth. Katie Sullivan, who was a NASA astronaut, was able to do this. She dove to the bottom of the Mariana Trench and reached 35,810 feet down to the bottom in a submersible. So Katie has seen the heights and she has seen the lows. NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft is getting ready to pick up some pieces from the asteroid Bennu. It's made its closest approach yet, going down to just 820 feet above the site where they intend to land. The whole idea is that they will land, pick up pieces of Bennu, and then return them to Earth. The return will take place when the capsule reaches the Australian deserts in about 2 years. So a lot of work that has been done, but a lot more still to be accomplished. We're also learning out in deep space, using images from the Cassini spacecraft before it died into the Jupiter's moons, that Titan, one of the moons encircling, has different properties. The properties they thought were just common, but now it appears that its orbit was changed at least twice, coming inside of the planet's domain several times. Now it's observing Saturn, where it has been for more than 13 years before it finally died, and that death occurred by plunging into the planet's atmosphere on September of 2017. But the Cassini-Hyginus spacecraft certainly did everything it was supposed to do. Europe and most of Asia are having a lot of problems with the coronavirus. China is the only other country besides the United States with means of mounting human voyages to the moon. However, if Beijing's recent actions concerning the coronavirus pandemic prove anything, it's that it does not play well with others. In other words, Russia would be a decidedly junior partner in any Beijing-Moscow space axis. And Russia says, we don't play backseat to anybody. In fact, Dmitry Rogozin from Russia is claiming that the Russian vehicle, the Soyuz 21A, is cheaper than the Falcon 9. He said that securing seats on board a Falcon 9 Dragon will be more expensive than securing seats on the Russian vehicle. This is something that's in dispute and will certainly be looked at rather closely. SpaceX has a very busy June, to say the least. Yesterday, they rolled out their Starship vehicle for additional testing. Tomorrow, Spaceship will start their testing regime. On June the 12th, the Falcon 9 hopes to launch the 9th Starlink. On June 24th, the 10th Starlink. And then on June 30th, a GPS satellite for the Air Force. So moss does not grow under SpaceX feet. The question is, will they be able to accomplish all these launches? And the amazing thing is their ability to recover their vehicle and reuse them. The last Falcon 9 that flew was recovered for the 5th time. Not bad for getting your money's worth. Good pictures were taken by Rocket Lab as they get ready for another launch on the Mahia Peninsula in Australia. We'll have to keep the tabs on that. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about another astronaut working hard and commercial providers for NASA's new water hunting robot on the moon. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from the one and only Randy Siegel. He appears on the morning show each week at 8:30 right here at WSTU, Martin County's Heritage Station. And of course, we're a blended show this morning on WPSL. Our sister station is Mr. G and Ray have taken the morning off. They'll be back with you guys real soon. But in the meantime, time to take a trip down to Ellie's Downtown Deli right here in Stuart, Florida, where you might want to venture down to all the way from Port St. Lucie for some of the most delicious things that they have. And Bonnie's going to tell us about that right now. Bonnie?
Yeah, plenty of tasty lunch to serve up too, Evan, including a smoked pulled pork melt today. This is a warm and toasty panini where the pork is slow roasted in-house in a Thai chili barbecue sauce. And of course, it comes with sauteed onions, garlic mayo, and pepper jack cheese. It's pressed hot on a brioche bun. And you might want to enjoy a cool side item like a fluffy potato salad with that, maybe some crispy, tasty coleslaw today. At Ellie's Deli, they serve up fresh jumbo wraps, and you can always enjoy a glass of beer or wine with your lunch. Yeah, Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open, plus they're at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. They're located at 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado in Stewart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report, brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold's opening up at $1,716.70 an ounce, and silver at $17.75 an ounce. 8:42 is the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A state of local emergency remained in place on Monday in Martin County as widespread flooding continues from the ongoing rain over the past 2 weeks. Hope Sound has seen an upwards of 20 inches since Memorial Day. Pumps had not stopped running as roads and many communities remained underwater in Martin County. Furry Friends Adoption Clinic is seeking donations to help care for a group of dogs rescued from a recent hoarding situation. Last week, nearly 20 schnauzers were found living in deplorable conditions. The dogs are now safe, but in desperate need of some tender, loving care. Due to the pandemic, the shelter said they are low on funds and looking for donations to help nurse the dogs back to health. The conditions were horrifying. These dogs never left the home. They ate where they went to the bathroom around in their feces. The shelter said it will take at least a few months before they will be available for adoption. Publix is donating $1 million to Southeast affiliates of the National Urban League to support their civil rights efforts. The company says the donation is part of its long-standing support of the group's efforts. Publix CEO Todd Jones sent a letter to associates saying the company rejects racism and discrimination of any kind. The letter was posted under a section titled Committed to Diversity on the company's website. At Publix, we reject racism and discrimination of any kind. And the city of Stewart is trying to figure out who posted offensive racial and religious slurs in a Stewart Community Redevelopment Board Zoom meeting last week. It sparked outrage amongst board members and some members of the Stewart community. Mayor Mike Meyer condemned the action and said the city will do what it can to find out who was responsible. In a resolution, the city apologized for the occurrence and said it denounces all acts of racism and discrimination. CRB appointee Faye James spoke to commissioners about an effort to try to make the resolution go a step further and create a diverse advisory board that would work closely with the city and its partners, which should include African Americans, Hispanic Americans, white Americans, and many other ethnic groups. Time for a look at sports. It's brought to you by St. Lucie Draft House at 6632 US 1, Port St. Lucie. Vanessa Bryant is really shooting for the moon in the wrongful death lawsuit she filed over the deaths of Kobe and her daughter Gianna. Vanessa is suing Island Express Helicopters and the chopper pilot who was also killed in the crash last January. And her lawsuit states that she wants, quote, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, while that might sound excessive when you first hear it, the lawsuit says Kobe's future lost earnings would be in that range. News time is 8:44. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
Time now for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning. Don't roast, call Seacoast. Bonnie?
Well, it's really a nice ride this morning. We're looking at Martin County and St. Lucie County. The roads are looking good right now, major highways and US 1 included. There's your latest look at traffic. In Port St. Lucie, it's 80. Stewart, a warm 81. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with some patchy fog possible. Then this afternoon, partly sunny, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees and the heat index around 100 degrees. A few showers and thunderstorms will develop inland and drift slowly toward the east coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
It's that time of the morning, Bonnie, where we venture to where no man will ever go. They say often imitated, but never, ever duplicated. It's time to take a trip up the Florida Turnpike to exit 60 and the home office of Phil's Top 10 list. They just call him Phil.
Thank you, Evan, and good morning. From the home office of Yeehaw Junction, Florida, top 10 signs you are in a bad mall. Top 10 signs you're in a bad mall.
Oh, boy.
Malls are reopening up across the country, and now here are the signs that you're in a bad mall. Number 10, the upscale business in the mall, Day Old Bread Mart.
Yikes.
Okay.
Number 9, when you ride the escalator, you hear muffled screams coming from beneath your feet.
Oh gosh, good gosh.
Oh boy. Somebody get the repairman out.
That might be Marcel's Mall.
Thank you.
Number 8, cosmetic sales girl sprays perfume directly in your eyes.
Ooh, that's not good.
Number 7, it has 2 organ stores. Number 6, there's a shop called Victor's Secret.
And why not?
Yeah, exactly.
If they have Victoria,
Sure, why
certainly
not?
they
Victoria
could have
and Victor. Okay.
Number 5, the food court is 2 lawn chairs and an open box of Ritz crackers.
Okay.
Number 4, Crate and Barrel only has a Crate and Barrel in it.
Okay.
Number 3, one store is having a sale on lost children.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 2, Hickory Farms Rancid Outlet Store. And number 1, new food court restaurant, Chunks and Things. And there's your top 10 list.
Wow.
I don't think I want to eat at Chunks and Things.
Chunks and Things.
Chunks and Things.
Chunks
Work
and
that into a
Things.
conversation and you get extra credit today.
Yes. Definitely so. Hi, you're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, Marty Jacobson. How you doing?
Hey, Marty, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Hey, one that didn't make the list, but almost. It was the Blockbuster Video Resale Store.
Oh,
Have a good
Yeah,
day.
right?
thanks, Marty. I appreciate it. Wow, I love it. That was a
good.
good one. That's a good one. The Blockbuster Video Resale Store. I like that one.
My son goes, oh, you can have a car wash converted into a spray tanning booth.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, you can have that done. You can definitely have that done. It's that time of the morning, Phil, for us to play a 5-second rule between you and Bonnie. So it's if you ever watched, for those of you listening in the WPSL listening area, if you ever watch the Ellen DeGeneres rule, she plays the 5-second rule on her show, and I thought we'd bring that to radio. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to name a topic, and you're going to have 5 seconds to give me 3 of the topic items.
This is easier said than done, too.
Yes, it's easier said than done. It's not that easy to do.
Boom, it hits you in the face, and
It
right
does.
away you got
It
to
does.
think
It
of
slaps
3.
you right in the face. So, Phil, I want you to name 3 female musicians. Ready? Go.
Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, and the Spice Girls.
Very good. But I'm going to give you this because I said musicians, not groups, and you said the Spice Girls.
They still played instruments on Spice
Yeah,
Girls.
but it's not one. It's not one musician though. It's got to be a musician. I'm being particular on this one.
You can give
Sorry.
that one to Phil, Evan.
I'm trying to
all
make
right.
you, Bonnie. I'm trying to make you win.
No, I think he deserved I think he deserves that one. I'm
Jeez,
I
Bonnie.
know, like
Bonnie. Trying to help you out here.
I know. Okay.
Trying to help
I
you
just
out.
thought he deserved it. But,
No, he
okay.
doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Bonnie.
gonna cry and play with my daughter's baby dolls here.
Thank you. Okay, Bonnie, name 3 things you might find in your backyard. Ready? Go. Go.
A doghouse, a tree, and my pineapple plant.
Very good. All right.
and the buried body.
And a shovel.
Yes.
Right next to it.
Right next to it. Okay. All right. Phil, name 3 daytime talk show hosts. Ready? Go.
Kelly Ripa, the girl, host or host?
Hosts.
The View and
You're too
the
late.
other show
You're
that
too late.
CBS has.
You're too late.
Oh,
You didn't
oh
get
well.
it. Okay. Bonnie, this is easy. Name 3 shapes. Ready? Go.
Round, oval, circle, square.
You gave me 4, but that's okay. That was a bonus
I don't
point.
know if I got the square in on time.
That's all right. Yeah, you did. You were fine. That was great. Okay, here we go. Phil, I can only imagine what's going to come out of your mouth on this one. Name 3 items you find in a hospital room. Ready? Go.
Gloves, thermometer, and sheets.
Very good.
I'm surprised you didn't say face mask.
Right?
Because that's like.
Yeah, that's one.
Right
Or
away
a
you just
bedpan.
Yeah.
Bedpan would have been a good one.
It was all good.
All right. Bonnie, you should know this one because you're a music gal and you did music radio.
All right.
Okay. So name 3 Beyonce songs. Ready? Go.
Irreplaceable. You got the look.
Oh, Bonnie.
Umbrella would have been the other one.
Yeah. But
Wow.
the biggest one I know by Beyonce is Irreplaceable.
Okay.
To the left, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the. Yeah.
Keep singing. Just keep going. I'll just let you do your
karaoke
thing.
here.
I'll shut up.
Reminiscing.
We can do karaoke if you want this morning.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Phil. All right, Phil, here's your last one. Name 3
Go ahead.
soups. Ready? Go.
Wait, say it again.
3 soups.
Oh, chicken noodle, barley, and cream of gristle.
No.
Cream of
gristle. Okay. All right.
I bet it could be good though.
All right, Bonnie, you should have fun with this one. You ready?
Okay.
Your last one. Give me 3 excuses to give for not having your homework done. Ready? Go.
I'm too tired. I had too much soda. My mom and dad took me out to eat.
Okay, and that's how you play
Too much
5 second
soda
rule.
didn't make any sense either. So
Yeah,
it
because
could've
you were
been-
on a sugar rush.
Yeah.
All right. So here's something to think about. Things that make you go, Okay. If Barbie is so popular, why do you have to buy her friends? Think about that. If Barbie's so popular, why do you have to buy her friends?
Yeah.
Well, I can ask them. They're all here in this room that I'm in today.
This is true. Okay. Here's another one. If you're going to shoot a mime, would you use a silencer? Okay.
That's puzzling.
Right? Okay. All
Does
right.
anybody like mimes?
Okay. Here's another one for you. What is the speed of dark? That makes you go, because you think about what's the speed of light.
Right, you do.
Okay. What's another word for thesaurus?
That's a big word for this show.
And lastly, if you're scared half to death twice, what happens? That'll give you something to chew on today. Well, that's a wrap for the Get Up and Go show. Blended show on both stations. Had fun this morning. Thanks for letting us into your homes in Port St. Lucie at WPSL. Port St. Lucie. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. Say goodnight, Phil.
Good night, Phil.
Hey, Fredo, have a great day, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Fredo. Bonnie, chow mein,
In Honduras.
and Arriva Dirty, in the words of Ellen DeGeneres.
Just be kind to one another.
Folks, have a great Tuesday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.